Good afternoon, everyone. I hereby call the July 2nd, 2026 Code Compliance Special Master Hearing to order. Roll call, Special Master Karen Jenkins,
Present.
City Attorney Jose Arango,
Here.
Code Director Jose Perez,
Present.
Code Manager Genaro Morillo.
Here.
Special Master, please approve the minutes of the hearing that took place on June 18, 2026.
Approved.
We kindly request that everyone in attendance place your cell phones on silence. Por favor, pongan su teléfono en silencio. Gracias. Anyone giving testimony today, please stand to be sworn in by Homestead Police Officer Schnebly. Si usted va a testificar hoy, por favor, póngase de pie.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
Translator.
Translator. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? If so, say I do. The pledge.
For the record, the following amendments have been made to the hearing's agenda. Item number 6, case number CC 2600147, TKT from civil citations has been complied. Item number 7, case number CC 2600152, TKT from civil citations has been complied. Item number 8, case number CC 2600153, TKT from civil citations has been complied. Item number 2, case number CC 2500261, NOB from previously heard has been tabled. Item number 4, case number CC 2500779, NOB from previously heard has been complied. Item number 5, case number CC 2600730, NOB from new business has been tabled. Item number 7, case number CC 2600883, NOB from new business has been tabled. Item number 9, case number CC 2600927, NOB from new business has been tabled. Item 11, case number CC 2601172, NOB from new business has been tabled. Item 23, case number CE 250900196 from new business has been tabled. One minute. Special Master, if I may take the cases out of order from the agenda for those who are present today.
Approved.
Item 17, Code Officer Flores, case number CC 2601831 NOB, East Homestead Community Development District CO GMS SF LLC. Rich Hans.
Good afternoon. The property was cited on June 5th, 2026 for Code Section Violation 19-3, Public Nuisance. This is in reference to overgrowth and dead vegetation along the perimeter of the lake located east of 500 block of Southeast 31st Ave. A notice of violation was mailed certified mail and posted on June 5th, 2026. Compliance was not met, therefore the property was set for today's hearing. Summons to appear was mailed certified mail and posted on June 17, 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. Photos were provided, and I took photographs on June 5th and June 17, 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Master, as of today, the overgrowth has not been addressed, and I've had no contact with the owner in reference to this violation.
Okay, that person's not here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2601831 NOV. I'm going to give them 5 days to come into compliance, which would bring it to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 4, under civil citations, Code Officer Lind, case number CC 2600141 TKT.
Good afternoon. I will be presenting the case on behalf of Officer Lin. On April 1st of 2026, the Code Compliance Department received a complaint regarding alleged improper tree pruning at 1751 of West 17th Street. In response, the department initiated an investigation into the reported violation. Based upon the investigation, it was determined that the tree had been pruned in excess of 1/3 of its canopy within 1 year period. As a result of civil citation, the amount of $500 was issued for a violation of Section 29-11, subsection C5 of City of Homestead Code, which prohibits pruning more than 1/3 of a tree canopy within a 1 year period. The civil citation and the correspondence summons to appear were posted at the property and mail on June 9 of 2026. According to USPS tracking, the mailing was delivered on June 12 of 2026. As of today's hearing, the civil citation remains unpaid.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Please state your full name and address.
Sure, Stephen Shelley, 1751 Northwest 17th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33030.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a testimony you want to share?
I do, yes. I have 3 defenses. I don't know if you want me to present them one at a time or all at once. How would you like me to proceed?
You have what? I'm sorry.
I have 3 different arguments, 3 different defenses to the citation here.
Okay, we're only talking about right now the case number ending in 141 TKT. That's the one we're talking about.
Correct, yes, yes. I have 3 arguments on why the citation should be dismissed. So do you want me to proceed with all 3 of them at once or one at a time and then discuss
Let's
each
do
one?
one at a time.
Okay, okay. All right, my first argument, I have documents here I'd like to hand you, Special Master, that's got exhibits.
Okay.
So the first argument deals with the form of the citation itself. Florida Statutes 162.213D4 and the City of Homestead's Code, Section 7-326, specifically state that any citation and summons issued and alleging a civil infraction, the facts constituting reasonable cause must be included in the citation. It defines reasonable cause as a set of facts and circumstances that would lead an ordinary prudent person to believe a specific conclusion is true. And the requirement is there is critical to make sure that the property owner has provided proper notice and due process to prepare a defense or evaluate the validity of the citation. In this particular case, there's not one fact stated at all in the citation. If you look at the citation itself, it provides the code section, and it provides the what the code section provides in terms of what they say the code section violation was, but they state no facts whatsoever in the citation in terms of what would connect that violation to the actual case or make the homeowner, in this case myself, applicable to that code section. So it doesn't state that I cut the tree. It doesn't identify what tree was cut. I've got 8 trees in my property, so it doesn't say, the tree in the front yard. At a minimum, it should have said that I cut the tree, it should have identified the tree, and that it should have identified how they determined that more than 1/3 of that tree had been cut, such as I consulted Google Earth, I measured it, with a truck. There's multiple ways for them to, but ultimately they didn't state one single fact, so there's no way to even know what I was supposed to defend against. And again, similar to a speeding ticket, which is a civil infraction as well, the officer may cite you and say you were going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, but the law still requires them to state that I observed the driver on such and such road, that I measured their speed using a certain device, as a prerequisite in order to get through essentially the citation portion. If not, it gets dismissed when you go before a hearing officer. So this is very similar. So my argument would be that it contains 0 facts. There's nothing connecting me. There's no reasonable cause. There's no facts supporting reasonable cause on how that particular section that was cited was in fact violated by my homeowner, by me. So that's my first argument.
Thank you. Okay, when you first got this citation back in, what's the date here? June 8th. Did you talk to the code enforcer?
I didn't talk directly to code enforcement on June 8th, so this is actually the second citation. There was another citation that was issued in May. I raised this argument, the fact that, one, the first citation didn't even have the code section properly cited. I raised that as an argument. I also raised the fact that there were no facts stated supporting it that's required by both Florida statutes and the City of Homestead Code. This was a reissued citation, I guess, in their belief to resolve the first errors, but it still fails to contain any facts whatsoever in the citation, and the summons also does not contain any facts whatsoever, which again is required by both Florida law and City of Homestead's code.
Okay, did our, I think you're the agent for this, was Jeffrey. Was the trees and the trimming already picked up by our people?
So
Yeah, were they
if I
picked
may interject, to answer Mr. Shelley's, I guess, objection, currently we have the citation up on the screen. Under it says, you committed in violation of the City of Homestead Code section and description. So the section would be 29-11C5. And then further, it gives a description of the issue, which is the tree pruning standards. No more than 1/3 of the tree's living canopy shall be removed within a 1-year period, which is the city's rebuttal in reference to the lack thereof of a description of what occurred. In this case, the citation clearly states that more than 1/3 of the tree's living canopy was removed within a 1-year period.
And Special Master, if I may?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my argument, though, is that is just the citing of the code. If you look at the code section, which I provided you a copy of, it's behind the Florida statutes portion. The code section that they cite, 2911C5, specifically says no more than 1/3 of a tree's living canopy shall be removed within 1 tree. So all they've done is cited the code itself and what the code says. There are no facts. If you look at Florida statutes and both the city code, there when it relates to citations, it specifically says that facts constituting reasonable cause must be stated in the citation. And there are no facts constituting reasonable cause or describing how they've determined that more than 1/3 of that tree has been cut. So we don't even get to the facts because they don't properly state it.
If I may interject this again, can we both agree that tree pruning standards is the subsection, right? Correct?
Yeah, no, you've stated that's what
Okay.
you guys are alleging that I violated is that particular code section. I'm not arguing that right now.
So are you saying that if at all the verbiage of an ordinance is ever used, that doesn't constitute the description of the violation?
No, it doesn't constitute the facts of the violation. So same thing with the speeding ticket, like I use that as an example. The officer will state you went more than 10 miles an hour of the speed limit. So in theory, it states facts, but it's not actually the statement of the facts. The officer has to go to the next step and say that I observed Bob Smith driving down Fifth Avenue and he was speeding, and I measured his speed using a radar device or some other methodology. Those become the facts that then constitute and support the cited code section. And so that's what's missing in this particular citation are any facts that connect the code section to the violation of my homeowner, in this case myself, where it states that I cut a tree, or utilizing how did they determine that more than 1/3 was cut, because there's no facts to constitute that as well. So that's my argument.
So the determination of whether or not more than 1/3 was cut wouldn't necessarily have to be on the citation. Rather, the act in itself of what occurred has to be on the citation. In this case, the city clearly states that 1/3 of a tree's living canopy was cut, which is therefore the city's violation that's being stated on the citation.
Right, but there needs to be something that constitutes the reasonable cause. That's what I'm saying. All it does is state the citation. I mean, state the violation or the code section, and then provides the exact language of that code section. But there needs to be something more, such as what actually resulted. Did I cut the tree? It doesn't even state that I cut the tree. So that's what I'm saying. It's missing the facts. It's easy to solve. It could have been solved easily, but ultimately it's not there. So it doesn't put me on notice on exactly what you guys are going to assert here at this hearing, so that I know what should my defenses be, or assess it and say, you know what, they're right. I should just pay the fine. So that's what's missing.
So the fact of the case is that more than 1/3 of a tree's living canopy was cut within a 1 calendar period.
I mean, it wasn't, but for purposes of talking about the citation, the argument is that no one has stated how that occurred, though.
Okay, but that how it's stated isn't a requirement of the citation, but rather what occurred is a requirement of the citation. In this case, what occurred is more than 1/3 of a tree's living canopy was cut within 1 calendar year. That is on the ticket's description.
But that's the description of the site. You're using the code section as the facts. They're two separate things. So you would need to also state more than just that. So you could have said something more specific, but all it does is essentially states the exact code section. So that's my argument. There needs to be
Laura,
facts.
city
If I
attorney.
may interject, okay, I represent the special magistrate in these proceedings. So code enforcement has the burden to present its case. Why don't we do, as far as housekeeping rules, why don't code enforcement go ahead and present the case? And I think what you did was you just introduced yourself and you jumped right into your affirmative defenses, if you will. So why doesn't code enforcement have an opportunity to present their case? They haven't done that yet. And then you could respond and assert your defenses at that time instead of the back and forth.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's what that's why I'd asked how to proceed. But
Okay.
that way I know what's being alleged and I can prepare my defenses
And
accordingly.
go to the tree pictures. So here we have, on the date of the inspection, the tree in question. Can we confirm that this is your property? This is your tree?
Yes, that's my property.
Okay, scroll up. This is a different angle of the tree in question. Keep scrolling up. And this is a Google Earth image from October 2025 depicting the tree. So if we further zoom in, on April 1st, that was the condition of the tree. So by the comparison of the April 1st, 2026 picture and the October 2025 street view picture, it was ascertained and reviewed that more than 1/3 of the tree's living canopy was removed. And that is the nature of this violation. Subsequently, once this complaint came in, it was reviewed by our staff. At that point, staff reviewed both the picture submitted by the complainant, both the Google Earth image, and an on-site inspection, which further corroborated the complaint and subsequently yielded to the citation being issued. If we may please enter these and accept these as evidence for the case.
Approved.
I have a question. I didn't see a copy of the citation. I know it was up there earlier, but is this a citation or a notice of violation?
It is a civil citation.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
So To one of the points Mr. Shelley did bring up, the city originally issued the citation in April. However, one of the prudent comments that he made was that the subsection 5 was missing from the citation. Therefore, upon being notified, our city reviewed the citation and reissued the citation, which therefore included the subsection 5, which is specific to tree pruning standards. And then we further go ahead and issue on the citation that more than 1/3 of the living canopy was removed within that one calendar period, as we observed within that October 2025 picture compared to that April 1st, 2026 picture, which is less than one calendar year.
Okay.
Okay. So at that time, at this time, that'll conclude the city's presentation for the citation itself. We're more than happy to further continue with the questions as required.
So after the parties present their case, the magistrate, or even during the course of the presentation, you have the right to ask questions and stop the proceedings, as you may, so if you want. So the city has presented its side of the case. I believe this was a citation as instructed by the code enforcement director, and a request to appeal that citation was submitted to the city.
Excuse me?
A request to appeal the citation. We're here on an appeal of that citation.
Yeah, I mean, I provided my grounds to the city for both the failure
No.
to safety
I just want to put it on the
code
record.
section and the
An
facts.
appeal was never received. Mr. Shelley never reached out in reference to appeal. Rather, this is here on default because it was not paid within the 30 days as outlined within the citation. So this is a default hearing of payment.
I had appealed the first version, the first citation. So this is a second citation, which was issued 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, I didn't realize I needed to appeal the second one because I'd appealed the first and never got really any resolution on the first one. No one notified me of dismissal. I just got a second citation.
That was a dismissal of the first citation because I believe it was there was an issue with the contents as far as the with the description, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
the description failed to have both the code section and the facts, which I'm arguing now. It has the code. The second one has the code section, but not the facts.
And that citation was withdrawn, and another one was issued, a corrected or amended citation was issued.
I received a second citation. Nobody contacted me and said that this was how it was being resolved. It was dismissed. It was withdrawn. I just got a second citation with a new date.
And that is correct. After conferring with City Attorney Matt Pearl and Assistant City Manager Oliver, the citation was amended with the correct subsection, which was just missing the 5, which is the specific subsection of tree pruning standards.
Okay. You have the right to proceed with your case if you want to. I know you had you said that you had 3 defenses based on you had your arguments on. So.
Yeah, this is the first one. So the yeah, I think so. I've resolved. I think we presented the case. Ultimately, the special master will make a decision on whether or not which way to go with it. So I'll go on to case 2 or argument number 2. I do have a question though. So you presented the pictures there. You mentioned the Google Earth reference, and then you mentioned the pictures that were taken in person. How did you determine that more than 1/3 had been removed? Was there actual measurements taken? Did anyone use a tape measure? How would you determine that more than 1/3 had been removed?
Visual representation between the October 2025 and the witnessed April 2026 depicts more than, it appears that more than half the canopy was removed. If we could go back to the pictures, if you'd like, it looks as if more than half the canopy was removed.
All right, so you just did it based on an estimated visualization. You did
That is
not,
correct.
There was no official measurements taken. There was no, okay.
That is
I
correct.
just wanted to clarify that. So second argument is that more than 1/3 of the tree was in fact not removed. It stated the code section, so I don't need to go through that. But there's 2 ways that I'll make the case here. One is observational. So what I've provided to you, Special Master, is the same type of Google Earth photo that they had provided to you, or they had presented on the screen there. And so what you'll see, and also that's Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 is a picture that I took from a side-by-side comparison so that the trees are the same focal plane. And actually, you need a copy of this so you can see what I'm referencing as well, or?
I mean, you're appealing before the magistrate. I'm not the magistrate, so you have to give it to the magistrate.
Okay, I just didn't know in case you wanted to make any counter arguments. So if you look there at those two, Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2, Exhibit 2, again, was taken on the side view so you can see the actual, what the tree looked like 2 weeks after the first citation was sent. And you'll see that the tree, in question tree here, is almost the equal height or a little bit taller than the tree that's closest to the roadway. So if you go to the Google Earth picture, which is Exhibit 1, I've taken the liberty of drawing the line across the equalization of the tree closest to the road all the way across the tree in question. And what you'll see is it's not half of the tree that was cut. In fact, it's barely a third, not even a third of that tree. You can see there where there's substantially more product or more greenery below that black line than above that black line. And secondarily, from an observational perspective, if you look at Exhibit 4 that I've also provided to you, Exhibit 4, you can see on Exhibit 1, there's 3 tiers, which are essentially the major lateral lines of the branches. And I've numbered them 1, 2, and 3. The cut for this tree was made just above that third lateral branch, which is also visible when you go to Exhibit 4. You can see those same 3 lateral branches and the cut being made just above the third one. And then when you go back to the Google Earth image and look at that black line right above the third tier that also corresponds with the top of the tree that's closest to the roadway, again, it reinforces that it's not clear at all that more than 1/3 was taken off the top of that tree. And I know the fact that it wasn't more than 1/3, but at best, it's questionable. It's definitely not 1/2. So I don't think there's enough sufficient evidence being presented by the city of Homestead to establish that more than 1/3 of that tree's canopy had been removed just based observationally alone. And so for that, I also would ask that the citation be dismissed. Now, I've gone a step further and gone into a scientific analysis as well. So what I've been able to do is that if you have a photo and you have a known measurement, you have a known object, an object that you know that size, that length, you can then use that object to create a scale for the rest of the photo. And so this is used frequently in animal biology. They'll be out in the field, they're trying to get a measurement on an alligator, or a snake, or some sort of other animal. They don't have a tape measure in place, so they'll put a Coke bottle or a Coke can or some other object that they know that they can measure later or that has a known measurement. They take their picture, they go back to the lab, they measure that object, and from that object, they can then determine the size of the alligator, the snake, or whatever the animal is they're going through. So what I've done, if you look at Exhibit 2, I know that from the top of the bromeliads at the base of the tree to that first nook on the left-hand side, I know that's 8 feet. I've measured it. I have a tape measure, I know that's 8 feet. So from that, I can then measure it on the photo itself and know that it's 5/8 of an inch from that on the photo, if you look at the Google Earth photo. That then I can also measure to the top of the tree and determine what the top of that tree is. I divide that measurement by the 5/8, multiply by 8, and it gives me what the top of that tree, or the height of that tree before it was cut, which I know to be 38.4 feet. If I then perform that same analysis on a cut tree, it shows that it was 28.3, 28.6, and 28 feet, because I've got multiple pictures there because I want you to see that this is repeatable. So both Google Earth images that I did the analysis on Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 3 show that it's 38.4 feet before it was cut. All of the trees post-cut that I did the analysis on show that it's somewhere around 28 feet to 28.6 feet. Under the code, at 38.4 feet, if I removed 33% of that tree, I could remove up to 12.78 feet of limbs. I only removed less than 10, or right around 10 feet of limbs, well within the 1/3 requirement that the code provides me. And it's clear. I mean, you have scientific facts and evidence. So between the observational, just looking from where it was to where it is, as well as the scientific data, it was not more than 1/3 removed. And again, on those grounds, I would ask that it would be dismissed. And then I have my last argument, if you want me to go ahead and go into that one.
If I may interject, I have a rebuttal in reference to the objection from Mr. Shelley. As it stands, it again wasn't cited because the height was reduced. While you made some very scientific calculations in reference to the height, the overall canopy extends not just linear, but also horizontally, providing overall canopy dimensions. So while I understand that maybe the height was reduced by a certain amount, it also takes into consideration that the width of the canopy was reduced as well. Can we both agree with that?
Well, so typically a tree's width and height are equal, meaning that as it grows height, it also grows wide. So in this particular case, the tree trimming company makes a rounded tree. So whatever was taken off the top would have been taken off the sides in equal proportion. So the analysis would be, whether it's looking at top to bottom or side to side, the proportion of limbs taking on any given side would have been the same.
Right. So if we could go back on what you just said, whether it was taken from side or up and down, the proportion would have been the same. But if you remove part of the canopy from the side and part of the canopy from the top, wouldn't the overall addition of both the sides and the top add up?
No, because your canopy is either considered the width-wise, because that's the shade side, or the top is kind of part of that. So you could cut the entire top off, leave it all wide, and your canopy really wouldn't change. Your shade pattern, which is how they define a canopy, would not change at all. So you don't combine top removal and side removal, but by using the top removal, which is much easier to compare because I don't have a 360-degree view of all the trees. That's why I've used this as the analysis. I can tell you that whatever was taken off the top was less than a third, so I know whatever was taken off the side was less than a third, but they don't get added together to be more than a third. It's just as you round the tree around, that would be the analysis. So the analysis applies whether it's top to bottom or side to side in this case.
You advised that you had a professional company do it, right? So I'm guessing it's a certified arborist company. Are they present for their testimony?
No, they're not present here.
They're not present. Do you have a receipt that maybe, or some sort of documentation that says that they removed only 1/3 of the canopy or less than 1/3 of the canopy?
I might, because I know we talked about it. I don't remember whether or not it specifically says 1/3 on the receipt. I mean, I could look, but I think it's irrelevant for this case because ultimately it's going to be their testimony. Scientifically, I've shown the exact height of the tree on both before it was cut and after it's cut. So I don't think we need that. And again, to delay this, I wouldn't want to say, hey, let's delay this, come back and do this again. I think I've given sufficient evidence to find that this citation should be dismissed.
Well, part of your testimony is that you had a certified arborist company do the trimmings, and if they're a certified arborist and they provide testimony, I would rebuttal that it is definitely relevant towards the case.
Yeah, but I'd also say that ultimately the burden is not on me. The burden is on you, the government. You guys have to establish the case. That's why my argument from point one was that lack of facts, it starts with that. You guys have to provide the proof and the evidence, and the burden is on you ultimately to prove the case. And the same goes here. Ultimately, it's not, I'm presenting my defenses, but it's not on me. You guys have to prove first and foremost. And right now, all you have is pictures, but with no scientific data, no measurements, nothing other than to say, well, I looked at it and I think it's more than half. I can tell you scientifically, it's definitely not half. In fact, it's not even a third.
Well, you say scientifically, but are you a certified arborist?
I don't need to be a certified arborist. I do math.
Well, it's just a simple question. Are you a certified arborist?
No, I'm not a certified arborist.
Are you a scientist?
I could be. I'm a doctor.
Or are you a scientist?
No, I'm not a scientist. Look, here's the thing. We're not getting anywhere. Special Master, I'd ask that we
Why don't we proceed with the third argument so that you can conclude your presentation?
Excuse me?
You have a third argument that you were waiting to...
I do, yes. So here's my third argument is this. The code section, or the City of Homestead's code, give me one second. So the City of Homestead's code also provides an exception to the 1/3 rule if the tree poses a risk to the property or asset. So City of Homestead Code 29.11C3 provides that a tree may be cut back more than 1/3 of its height if required for clearance pruning. Clearance pruning is defined in the code as pruning required to avoid damage or danger related to structures, power distribution, and property. So even if there's some debate, as going back and forth here, if even there's some debate about, well, is it a third? Is it more than a third? Which I believe it's not 1/3. And in fact, the burden again is on the City of Homestead to prove that it's more than a third and provide evidence establishing that. But in this case, the trunk of that tree is 7 foot from my driveway and almost 10 feet or approximately 10 feet from my garage and my roof. Additionally, some of it was encroaching west to the front facade of the house where it was also starting to over-encroach the roof of a bedroom. And so last summer, there was a storm that came through, caused one of the branches to fall onto the driveway. Luckily, there were no cars there at the time, but that was the impetus to say, okay, look, we've got to cut this tree back before it falls on the cars or we have a bigger storm or tropical storm, and ultimately it causes damage to the roof, caves in the garage, or lands on one of the bedrooms. And so that was ultimately why we decided to cut the tree. So mitigation of this hazard to my property is specifically authorized by the city code and is not subject to the 1/3 restriction. And additionally, the city code also contains 2911C7 that trees shall be pruned as needed to minimize potential hazards from wind and storms. So the code also requires you to say, hey, you need to take action ahead of time to mitigate these things so that these trees don't cause damage to property. And so between that, plus the fact that it was a danger to my property, it was so close to my property, even if you guys determine that more than 1/3 was cut, that code section provides that I have the authority and the ability to do that to protect my property and the structures, which I have now done, although the tree probably should be fully removed because it's still dangerous, but ultimately, that's kind of the course of events.
Sir, can you repeat that section? Was it C11?
2911C3.
No, but
No.
there was another reference to it. There was a different section of the code that you find.
Oh, that was the one just saying 2911C7, and so that was just the general shall be pruned as needed to minimize potential hazards from wind and storm. So that was kind of a catch-all. Why it's in there, I don't know, but it says that you should take action to make sure that the tree does become a danger. Okay. So you have both of those items that ultimately justify or support the actions of cutting that tree, and two, if the tree is in fact less than 1/3, but it's not, but if it was cut more than 1/3, the code section would provide for that given the safety issues to the house and the property and the cars.
If I may,
Okay, he's presented. You have the right to cross-examine.
if I may, can we agree that State Statute 163045 is admissible, correct? City Attorney?
I mean, you could admit it, and
Okay.
the magistrate could take judicial notice.
Okay, so I am admitting Florida Statute 163.045, which is in reference to tree pruning, trimming, or removal on residential properties. Within Florida Statute 163, it outlines that, and this is applicable to single-family homes and detached residential properties, right? It detaches and outlines that a certified board arborist or a certified landscape architect must provide you a written letter if there's cause for the tree to be causing damage to your property, potential damage to your property. Do you happen to have that letter?
I think that's if the tree is going to be removed.
No, it's tree trimming, pruning, or removal.
I don't have that letter, but again, your City of Homestead Code does not provide. And again, if you guys were going to cite that, then you should have put that as part of the citation to put me on notice that that was something we were going to raise today. So that's, again, it ties into the whole problem here is now we can't go outside of what your citation is to start bringing in other citations, other statutes, other arguments, because I'm not prepared here to make those arguments. That should have been done at the time of the citation.
Well, the violations for hat racking for the removal more than 1/3 of the canopy, what you're referencing now is that you had an exemption because of the potential damage to your property. But state statute says if you have an exemption because of potential damage to your property, you're supposed to have a letter of assessment from an arborist or a certified architect.
So are you citing me under the state statute or are you citing me under the City of Homestead Code?
I think he's not raising that exemption. I mean, so ultimately, there's going to be a special master. You're going to have to make findings of fact in this case. So you're going to have to find whether or not his determination, meaning the property owner, his determination is as to whether or not it's below, based on the evidence that he's provided, below the 1/3 standard, or not. You're going to have to review that evidence and make a finding of fact as to what constitutes the facts of the case and whether or not a violation exists based on those facts. And then, of course, consider any applicable defenses. So it may be the property owner has raised 3 defenses. One as to the form of the citation, whether or not the citation sufficiently details, and I'll just pull the section here, that under 7-32(6) of the code, it says that the citation must contain facts constituting reasonable cause. Whether or not the citation is sufficient based on that provision. His second argument was the threshold argument, and he's providing his evidence as that the tree was not trimmed or cut or pruned beyond the 1/3 threshold. And the third argument is that under 29.11C3, that the tree was a hazard and therefore allowed him to be pruned, him to prune the tree accordingly. If you have questions regarding the ordinance or any type of legal issues, you could direct them my way for discussion. So those are his three arguments. So you have to both make findings of fact and conclusions of law. And I don't mean to put words in your mouth. If anything that I said was incorrect, please correct me.
No, I think you accurately stated. And on the back of the exhibits are the calculations in case you want to see them. Shows you what was used, how I got to those numbers. It's exhibit 1 through 5.
Okay, give me a minute here.
Yeah, my main argument, my closing thing is just, given the totality of the circumstances and the arguments that I've laid out, I think it's debatable. At best, for you guys, it's debatable. And again, the burden is on the government to prove their case. And I don't feel like the government has proven their case here. I think I provided more facts and more justification for why a citation should not be entered and upheld versus why it should be dismissed. So my argument would be it should be dismissed because it's not clear cut.
Right. Well, I do think, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. All right. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number, let me bring it up here. CC 2600141 TKT. I still think that based on the pictures that you even provided, I mean, it's original. There was some cutting done. Also, that you got 2 violations. You've had, I think, quite some time to kind of go through this, get something resolved, clarity, exact measurements and all that. So I do see the violation of the 500 wasn't paid for. Today, I'll help you a little bit, but it's not going to be completely waived. So I'm going to give it $375. That's what's going to be paid. And I really think that the clarity and the measurements and all that, you should do like what our director said, get the arborist, have that receipts for the future so that you're not coming back in here and, not having the clear side of the city as well as your side. So have the arborist, and this should be your last final violation because you've had to, you didn't have clarity in the first one, what was happening, now you do. But I still do think that the cutting was done. So just to have this, I hear your side. I thank you for grabbing all the information, so I'll give you fairness on that. But that's what I'm going to rule on today. Instead of the 500 that you were supposed to, I do the 375 with an $8 administration fee. Okay? And that's it.
All right,
Thank you.
Special Magistrate.
Next case, item number 1, Code Officer Johnson under civil citations. Case number CC 2600113 TKT Belkis Bonilla.
Citation was issued to Belkis Bonilla, property address 520 Northeast 20 Terrace. Citation was issued on April 9th, 2026 for code section 29-12, subsection H for tree abuse, which is prohibited. Location of violation is 520 Northeast 20th Terrace. I took the photographs on April 9th of 2026 and May 29th of 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent the photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. Hello.
Hi.
Please state your full name and address.
Belkis Bonilla, 520 Northeast, 20 Terra, Homestead, Florida, 33033.
You have a testimony you want to share?
Yes, I'm going to say what happened to the tree. It was someone in the community, a gardener, that was working in my neighborhood, and I told him if he can cut the branch in the house, in the tree, because it was bad the neighborhood who passing through, and he cut it, but wasn't the way that he was supposed to cut it. That's the only thing that I can say because I'm not having nothing new.
Okay, so you agree that you cut the tree?
Yes, I told him to cut the branch to bother the neighbor passing through the
Where's the
sidewalk.
pictures? Can you show me the pictures, please? Oh, yeah. Okay. And have you?
We have more pictures of this one. Yeah, that one.
Special Magistrate, the last photo right there, that is how the tree, that's the most recent picture of the tree of how it looks now.
This last one right here?
Right.
Okay, and has Ms. Bonilla been keeping in touch with you? You explained to her the whole situation? She understands what she did?
Yes, I did get in contact. She was unaware of the situation of everything, how it happened.
Okay, and Ms. Bonilla, you have this fine of $500. Why didn't you pay it?
To pay the 500?
Yes.
I don't have no money. I'm disabled, and it's hard for me to pay that. That's why I come here.
Okay. Are you clear now of how the tree needs to be done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Arnold. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'll go ahead and roll on this. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600113, TKT. I do see you have this fine of 500, but today, because I know you're going through some hard time, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down to 150. So you'll have to pay 150 only instead of the 500 with an $80 administration fee today, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Next case, item number 20, Code Officer Morataya, under new business, case number CE 25080289, Angel Ramirez.
This property was cited August 18, 2025 for code section violation 6-36, non-permitted work. Driveway was extended without a city permit. Notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and posted August 19, 2025. Also, summons to appear was mailed via certified mail May 14, 2026 and posted May 17, 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. Compliance has not been met, therefore the property was set for today's hearing. Photographs were taken August 18th, 19th, May 14th, and 17th of 2026. As of today, there's a permit on file, permit number 25090420. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept these photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. Hi. Hello. Please state your full name and address.
Translator in Spanish, please.
Interpreter.
Translator.
3935 Norris, 15th Street, Homestead, Florida. 33033. 33033.
Do you have a testimony you want to share?
Ese driveway que yo extendí ahí con un paver, yo compré esa propiedad hace 7 años.
That driveway that I had there with the paver, I brought that property 7 years ago.
Pedí permiso a la asociación porque necesitaba un parqueo más para los hijos.
Requested permission to the association because I needed an additional parking for the children.
Ellos me autorizaron a hacer el parqueo, lo que yo no sabía era que tenía que sacar permiso con la ciudad.
They authorized me to do the parking spot, but what I didn't know is that I needed to request permit through the city.
Sometí el permiso cuando tuve la citación del inspector que fue a la casa.
I submitted the permit when I had the citation from the inspector in the house.
Parece que no requería los parámetros normales en el parqueo en ese permiso
It seems that on that permit, it did not meet the required parameters,
y me lo denegaron.
and it was declined.
Volví a reabrir el caso
I went and reopened the case
porque tenía que tener 25 pies parqueo y él tenía 27.
because the park needed to have 25 feet and he had 27.
Retiré los pavers adicionales a los 2 pies que le sobraban
I took out the additional pavers of the extra 2 feet,
y volví a poner el permiso.
and again, I put out the permit,
Y ahora está en proceso.
and now it's in process.
Y yo quisiera ver si se me da por lo menos 2 meses, 60 días,
I'd like to see if they give me 2 months, 60 days
para ver cómo procesa ese permiso.
to see how this permit is processed.
Okay. All right. Is that all he wants to share?
Nada más.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find in violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250-80289. I'm going to go ahead and grant him his 60 days. It will bring him to September 1st, 2026. And today would just be an $80 administration fee. Tell him to stay in contact with Mr. Morataya. Sorry, I mispronounced it. Keep in contact with him and make sure that he's keeping contact with the city as well for those permits.
Ok, si ese permiso no fuera aprobado, tengo que quitar todos los pavers que puse.
If that permit is not approved, do I need to remove all the pavers that I put?
That's something that he, go ahead.
That's something you will have to check with development services. They're the ones that will tell you what gets approved and what doesn't, but stay in contact with them. They're the ones that will finalize or tell you what is approved and what is it that you have to do.
Ok,
Okay.
gracias.
That's it.
Special Master, I'm sorry, what's the compliance date? How many days are you giving him?
I gave him to September 1st, which is 60 days.
Thank you.
After we discuss your case, please wait in the lobby, here in the audience, so we can give you your paperwork. Cuando acabemos de discutir su caso, por favor, espere todavía para darle sus documentos. Next case, item 19, under new business, Code Officer Morataya, case number CE 25070340, Mayrenilda Castillo.
Property was cited July 17, 2025 for code section violation 6-36, non-permitted work, extended driveway. Notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and posted July 18, 2025. Summons to appear was mailed via certified mail May 14th and posted May 17th. Currently, the property is in violation. Photographs were taken July 17th, 18, 2025, and May 14 and 17, 2026. There's a permit on file, permit number 25090419. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept these photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. Hello. Okay. Thank you. What is your first and last name and the address?
Mayrenilda Castillo, 4250 Northeast 16th Street, Homestead, Florida 33033.
And do you have a testimony you want to share?
When I received the violation, I went ahead and requested I put in for a permit. I received the email saying that it was not approved based on that it was above 25 point, the pavers were extended 25 point something. Oh, give me a second, Judge. The comments were overall width of the driveway with the expansion may not exceed 25.5 feet. However, I did measure when I submitted the permit was just for a request for 23 feet. and some change, and that's exactly what we did. So I never went above the 25.5 that the permit was denied for. I never went beyond that. It was 23 point. The measurements were 23 point, like 23.3 or 23.5.
So it was below the requirement,
Yes, ma'am.
and they still denied it?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened next? Did you?
I didn't do anything else. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, yeah, you need to contact the city building permit, and also keep in contact with your code enforcer because, I mean, if not, you're going to continue to have this violation. So I would say get it worked out.
Okay, so
Okay.
my question is do I go back and,
Right, because you said you have the correct measurements. That was you doing this with a professional company, correct?
no, I'm doing it myself. I did
You're doing it yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so then you have to provide those measurements and everything that you're doing to the city. And they'll come out and double check. All right, so I'll go ahead and rule on this. So you have not redone the permit again, so I would advise you to do that. I can give you some additional time. All right, so I'll go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 70340. I'll go ahead and give you an additional 30 days. They will bring you to August 2nd, 2026 to go ahead and redo everything. And today would just be an $80 administration fee.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Next case, item 15. Under civil citations, Code Officer Palmer, case number CC 2600163, TKT, J.W. Russell.
The citation was issued to Garfield Henry and J.W. Russell. The violator was cited on June 2nd, 2026. The property in violation is 531 Southwest 7th Avenue. For code section violations 23.5-6, section A, illegal deposit of trash, bulk, or debris on a private property. The service was received via certified mail and property posting with a posting date of June 2nd, 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
I did speak with the homeowner, Valerie Hughley, who was currently living in the state of Georgia, but she rents the house out. She stated that she hired a family member to clean the house out, and they did not know that they could put it on that property. But since then, I believe on the 16th, they removed all the trash, so it is cleaned up.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Please state your full name and address.
My name is Nicole Clark. I'm here representing Miss Valerie Hughley. I do have a power of attorney paperwork. My address, or do you want this address? My address is 406 Northwest 14th Street in Florida City. But this address is 527 Southwest 7th Avenue in Homestead.
Okay. And you said you have a power of attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we can't violate, we can't do nothing because she's not the owner. This is Garfield Henry, so it's somebody else, and then she's talking for somebody else.
Okay, Jose Arango for the record. You are Valerie. How do you say your last name?
I'm Nicole Clark. Valerie Hughley
Okay.
is the current homeowner. She's the daughter of J.W. Wells that inherited the house
Okay.
years ago. So she's the current homeowner. I'm her niece that just came to represent her today because she's ill and could not travel to be here.
And who is Garfield Henry?
Who's who?
Garfield Henry was the name that I found inside the debris.
Okay.
That was the tenant that vacated and left everything inside the house.
Okay, I see. So Garfield Henry was a name on the dumping. And this was on the property that was formerly owned by J.W. Russell. And you're saying that the estate has passed, or the administrator is Valerie Hewley. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. It's fine. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this violation here is for $500.
The reason why I came today because she has, after she called prior to asking my cousin, who's a younger male, to go over and clean out the house because the neighbors let her know that the gentleman had vacated the property. She didn't know the amount that he had left in the house, but she did contact Solid Waste prior asking about bulk, trash disposal, and they told her they do that, but she didn't know the amount. So I guess it exceeded or it was too much or where the young man put it. So then she did get a charge on her. It went to her electrical bill where she actually had to pay for the bulk pickup, and she actually had to pay a company to come out and clean, cut the grass, clean the yard and everything. So she wanted me to come represent her because she is a retired officer with disability, and she didn't have the funds to pay the $500, but she did rectify everything. She brought it up to code, and because she didn't know the amount of bulk and where he put it until she got the notifications. So it has been corrected, but she was just trying to get me to come speak on her behalf to either waive that fee or lower that fee because she is on a limited income, and being that she paid everything and corrected it.
Correct. And she's the one who cleaned up all that area, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that she did that. It cost her. All right. So I am going to go ahead and rule on this case. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600163. I'm going to go ahead and waive this $500 because since she already paid all the other fees, she's aware what needs to be done, and I appreciate that she took her time to do that. So she's already contributed some funds, but just make sure that she's aware of any other tenants or anything coming, that it won't be as kindly as this if it happens again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Today is only going to be an $80 administration fee. Okay, so let her know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And bless you.
Next case, item 14, under civil citations, Code Officer Buell, case number CC 2600160 TKT, Jose Luis Tellez Castillo.
Good afternoon. The citation was issued to Mr. Jose Tellez Castillo, a property address 2905 Fairways Drive, Homestead, Florida 33035. Citation was issued on Tuesday, May 26, 2026 for code section 23.5-6I. Illegal dumping location of the violation was at 63 Northeast 10th Street. I took the photographs on May 26, 2026. Photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Please admit this into evidence.
Approved.
So I came across a big illegal dump bulk trash pile in the center median in front of the address of 63 Northeast 10th Street. I found this Amazon package addressed to Mr. Jose Teliz within that pile and issued the citation.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Please state your full name and address.
My name is Amelia Rojas, 2905 Fairways Drive, Homestead, Florida,
Okay.
33035, and my husband, Jose Luis Tellez.
Okay.
He doesn't speak English, so is it okay if I speak?
Can that attorney, can she speak on behalf of him?
If he authorizes, and he needs to introduce himself on the record and then authorize her to speak, yeah.
So
I would formally request that the translator introduce him, and then
Yes.
via the translator, he authorizes her to speak on his behalf.
Yeah, the translator's gonna have to.
Okay, please state your full name and address. In the microphone so we can hear and have it of record.
Mi nombre es José Luis Tellez Castillo.
Castillo.
Mi dirección es 2905 Fairway Drive, 33035.
And my address is at 2905 Fairways Drive, 33035.
Sí.
Does he have a testimony he wants to share?
¿Tiene algo que usted desea compartir?
Bueno, cuando llegué a mi casa yo miré que me habían dejado el ticket por haber botado supuestamente basura en un lugar.
When I arrived at my house, I saw this ticket that I got for supposedly dumping garbage at a place.
Cuando realmente yo no he botado nada en ningún lugar.
But in reality, I have not dumped anything on any place.
Could you ask him how did that box get, if he didn't do it and it was inside his house or he threw it on his own, how would that box get there?
Mira, mi hijo compró, eso es una caja que venía un timón de una moto.
My son bought, that was a box that came a steering wheel for a bike.
Entonces, mi esposa tiene los videos de la casa donde los niños están abriendo el paquete y ella.
So my wife, she has, the kids in the house. They do open up the packages, and then she.
Y mi esposa saca la caja afuera porque nosotros vivimos en una comunidad.
And my wife, she takes the boxes outside because we live at a community.
Entonces, ahí la comunidad recogen la basura grande y se ve en la cámara de mi casa donde la basura recoge el paquete.
The community picked up the big garbage, and you can see at the camera that the community is picking up the package.
Yo no sé cómo eso llegó hasta ese lugar.
I do not know how that arrived to that place.
Ask him, he received this back in May 26. Now we're in July. He's had 30 days to communicate, to talk to the code enforcer, to show proof, his cameras. What's happened in 30 days?
May I speak?
Sure.
I spoke when we got the violation. I called the officer, and what he told me was if I believe we didn't do it, to come here to court. That's everything he told me. So we just waited until today.
Okay, so you.
Special Magistrate, yes, she did call me 2 different times, or she contacted me once through phone and once an email, I believe, letting me know that it wasn't her and her husband didn't do it. I did tell her if they believe that this is inaccurate, then they have an opportunity to contest it. But she didn't tell me anything about any other evidence showing that they didn't.
Okay. Was the trash picked up by our people?
It's been picked up by solid waste, yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll on this. Do you understand? Before I roll on this, are you? Your husband did state that the box was taken outside.
Yeah. When we receive Amazon packages, the kids open it up, and I just got the boxes and put it outside. But if you see the box, it says 5/7, so it was May 7th when we got the box. And then I have the video on 5/8, the box that comes inside the Fairways community. They got they come up and they get the trash. But I don't know how the box got to that place.
Okay. Well, We still had our city go out there and clean up. I would advise you, since you're here and you've gotten this violation, that for future, that you know that you have to, whether it's cut it up, put it in your trash, because if not, you're going to continue to come here.
No, what
Okay.
I'm cutting up and taking out the sticker because I really don't know how that box got.
Yeah, but I'm talking here for the future. I mean, I'm just letting you know, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this, but so you don't keep coming back, you are aware now of what needs to be done, correct?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600160TKT. You have this violation of 500. I'm going to bring it down to 375, and today an $80 administration fee. And this should really give you an impact. I am trying to help you as well, but at the same time, for the future, so this doesn't happen, you need to go ahead and make sure your boxes are taken care of underneath your name, whether it's tearing them up or whatever it is, so that you don't have that problem later. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Next case, item 22, Code Officer Valencia, under new business. Case number CE 25090181, Ever Martinez and W. Carmen Ortiz.
The property was cited on September 11 of 2025 for code section 6-36, non-permitted work without a permit, and what they did, it was a terrace at the rear of the property without a permit. A notice of violation was sent regular and certified on 9/12 of 2025. The service was received signed. The summons to appear was posted on 6/1 of 2025, and I took the photographs on 9/11 of 2025 and 6/1 of 2026. Correction, the posting date is 6/1 of 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. I took the photos. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. All right. Please state your full name and address of the property.
Special Master, I'm sorry. Special Master, I have been in contact with them. I believe they are in the process of getting the permit. They just kind of need more time. The city is kind of behind on issue permits, so if we can give them additional time.
Thank you. All right, please state your full name and address.
Sí, Ever Martínez, la dirección es 1612 Southwest Segunda Court, Homestead, Florida, código postal 33030.
Does he have a testimony he wants to share?
No.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250-80495. No, I'm
It's
sorry. CE 250-90181, correction. So I'm going to go ahead and give them 60 days, which would bring them to September 1st, 2026. Today would just be an $80 administration fee. That's it.
Next case, item number 12 under civil citations, Code Officer Buell, case number CC 2600158 TKT Julio Hernandez.
This citation was issued to Julio Hernandez, property address 63 Northeast 10th Street, Apartment 5. Citation was issued on Tuesday, May 26, 2026 for code section 23.5-6I. Location of the violation was 63 Northeast 10th Street in the center median. I took the photographs on May 26, 2026. The citation was posted on property and mailed to his address. This is in the same pile as the last. There were packages that were addressed to Mr. Hernandez within that same pile, and I issued the citation as such.
Okay, thank you. Have him please state his full name and address.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Julio Hernández, mi dirección es 63 Norris 10th Street, apartamento número 5, Homestead 33030.
Does he have a testimony he wants to share?
Sí, este ticket que me dejaron, me estaba sorprendido porque yo no he tirado basura ahí donde la cual lo encontraron. El problema de nosotros.
That ticket I got there caught me by surprise. We have not thrown any garbage at the place that you're saying that you found it, but the problem that we have.
Okay, el problema es que el dump de la basura de nuestro apartamento está pegado cerca a ese basurero que está ahí.
The problem is that our apartment dumper is close by that garbage area there.
Entonces esa noche que yo tiré una basura encima del dump, pero estaba lleno. Entonces.
So that night I throw a garbage in the dumper, but it was full. Then.
Tal vez cuando el camión levantó la basura puede volar un poquito cerca ahí donde está el basurero porque ese lugar estaba siempre lleno de basura de otras personas.
So maybe when the truck lift the dumpster up, probably that box flew and fell over there, where there's always a pile of garbages that other people dump there.
Porque es una caja pequeñita, no tan grande, puede ser, no está pesado, puede ser que el aire lo puede volar. Entonces,
being this is small box, is not big, probably the wind blew it.
Pero eso es mi basura que puse en mi dumper.
But I put my garbage in my dumper.
Sí, eso es todo.
That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, like I told the other people, I'm going to advise him as well. It's still his trash, so I would advise him for in the future any packages, anything that he can take care of himself, whether it's cutting it up, putting it in his trash, because this will continue to happen. There's a fine here of $500. I'm willing to go help him. It's not going to be waived because he needs to understand that this can happen again if he's not careful about his trash. And if it's full, then that should be like an obvious not to continue to put it in there. Do something else to take care of his trash. It's for the whole community. So I'm going to rule on it. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600158 TKT. He has a fine here of $500. I'm going to bring it to $375 with an $80 administration fee, and I advise him to take care of his trash.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
That's fine.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Next case, item number 1 under new business, Code Officer Simmons, case number CC 2500512, NOB Antonio Piciotano.
The property was cited on October 30th, 2025 for code section violation 6-36, building without a permit in reference to a tiki hut installed without a permit. A notice of violation was mailed certified and posted on October 30th, 2025. A summons to appear was mailed certified and posted on June 1st, 2026. Compliance was not met, therefore the property was set for tonight's hearing on July 2nd, 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. I took the photographs on October 30th, 2025. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
The owner was granted a 60-day extension with the revised compliance date of May 21st, 2026. There is an active permit application on file for this property, permit number 26040-327, which was submitted on April 28, 2026. As of today, the permit has not yet been issued.
Thank you. Please state your full name and address.
Mi nombre es Alexandra Galán. La dirección es 1702 South East, 17 Avenida, Homestead, Florida, 33035.
Does she own this property?
No, vengo con un power of attorney para. I have the power of attorney.
No, I have a power of attorney.
Okay. Ani. You want to see this? Okay, thank you. Does she have a testimony she wants to share on behalf of the owner?
Yes. We start a process with the permitting. The owner start by himself with a friend to the permitting process, but he has a lot of back and forth with the permitting because in the last time he applied for the old system, then he said he knew apply for the new system, he paid invoice, and many things happened in the process. So he called me to continue working with him because he's confused and concerned with the time that he took all this process. So now I went to the city, start to looking for information, what is the correct measurements for the tiki hut, if we can continue or demolition. We start everything like a zero again because the person who is working is not handled with the code. And we try to receive information from the GC to put the permit in a correct way. So at this moment we have corrections to submit because finally we came back to the old permit that we applied in January. So now we have corrections in the system, but the system is through the emails, so we have more time to continue working in the process because we need to fix the slab, we need to fix the tiki hut to comply with the code. So the reason is I came to request more time to complete the approval permit, pass the inspection, fix the structure, and close the violation.
Sure, okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2500512. I'm going to go ahead and grant additional time, 90 days. That would bring the date to October 1st, 2026, and today was just going to be an $80 administration fee, and that's it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Next case, item 24, under new business, Code Officer Valencia, case number CE 25090199 Santiago Rodriguez with Ana Diaz.
Hello. My name is Santiago Rodriguez. My
Mr.
wife,
Santiago,
Ana.
give me 1 second, okay? Just give me 1 second. The property was cited on 9/11 of 2025 for code section 6-36, failing to obtain a permit required by code for work done on the premises. And what they did is that install a terrace at the rear without a permit. The notice of violation was mailed regular and certified on 9/12 of 2025. The property was posted on 6/01/2026 with a summons to appear. Currently, the property is in violation. I took the photographs on 9/12 of 2025 and 6/1 of 2026. I'm sorry, correction, 9/11 of 2025 and 6/1 of 2026. The photos furthering the current represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as that evidence.
Approved.
They applied for a demo permit on March 5th of 2026. The permit has not been issued yet. And that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. All right, now please state your full name and address.
Thank you. My name is Santiago Rodriguez. My wife, Ana Patricia Diaz. Our address is 1609 Southwest 3rd Street, Homestead, Florida 33030.
Thank you. Do you have a testimony you want to share?
Well, we received 2 code compliances. The first one will remove what we needed to be removed, and it was dismissed, I believe. So we talked to a general contractor about what to do with the roof. He said the best thing was to remove it, have it demolished, and get it, later to get it, through all the codes, to build it back. So he told us to get a demolition permit. So we received information here. It's on pending zoning review.
I'm sorry?
We received information here in the building that this is still on pending zoning review, which I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's pending, yes.
Yes.
But you have that permanent. Great. So we just need some more time.
Right.
Okay. Make sure you stay in communication with Ms. Valencia and the city as well.
We will.
All right, so I'll go ahead and roll on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250900199. I'll go ahead and give you an additional 60 days. It will bring you to September 1st, 2026. And today is just going to be an $80 administration fee. That's it, okay?
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Special Master, I'm sorry, for that last case, what was the ruling?
I have it. It is September 1st, 26, which would be 60 days and an $8 administration fee.
Thank you.
Next case, item number 6, under previously heard. Code Officer Garcia, case number CC 2501121, NOB, Elizabeth Capin Pilar Perez.
Good afternoon, Special Magistrate. This is an affidavit of non-compliance. The property owners are Elizabeth Capin and Pilar Perez. The property address in question is 895 Northwest 15th Street under folio 10-7812-022-0690. The coding violation for this case is 6-206, installing a wood fence without a permit. This case was originally heard back on February 19, 2026, and was given until March 22nd, 2026 to comply. The case was reviewed on March 22nd, 2026, and determined that the property is still in violation. There is currently a permit currently in applied status, which is permit number BD 2600667 BLR. And per the application note from Development Services, the application is missing documentation as of June 1st, 2026. The photos for the record represent what's observed. Special Master, please observe the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Master, right now, as of the current note from Development Services, especially from the Building Division, as of June 29, 2026, they updated the notes on the permit, and apparently they are asking, at least on that portion, for the applicant to reapply a portion because it's either missing some documentation or it has some kind of incomplete documentation per the notes.
Thank you. All right. Please state your full name and address.
Hi, good afternoon. Elizabeth Capin, 895 Northwest 15th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33030.
Okay. And you have a testimony you want to share?
So I had to resubmit the application because apparently the application I used, the city is no longer using it, and I believe the notary had to be an electronic notary. So I wasn't aware of that. I did resend the application. The notary, it was an e-sign or an e-notary, and I believe I had to upload an addendum. That was it. So I did receive a notification that the application had been approved, and they're just waiting for the permit to be issued, I guess. I'm unsure.
Okay. Were you, did you see that, Mr. Garcia? Did you see the approval?
Well, right now, as I originally said, and also when I was looking at the note this morning, the last note that they have on the record, at least on the actual record of the permit, is that the Building Division, which is one of the main disciplines that review a permit, are kicking the application back to the applicant due to some missing documentation. So perhaps that is what they're needing in order to move with the permit forward. As far as I know, there are still other disciplines that still have to review, I think zoning as well, but that's what I have as of now, based on the records that we have on file.
Okay. So, Ms. Perez, did you hear that? That there's additional information that is needed from you?
I was trying to go into the portal, but for some reason, I'm not sure. I was trying to pull it up. It says it's been approved. And it's not asking for additional.
Can you show that to the code enforcer, Mr. Garcia, that it's been approved?
Yeah, can you show it to me, please?
I don't know if is it the Civic Plus platform? I don't think it is. When I go into the site, it's rerouting me there, but that's not where I have a login. So
yes,
where is it that you see they're approved? Wherever you see that it says
So I
approved.
received an email from, is it EPL? I'm looking for it now.
Okay.
EPL.
Okay, if I may interject here, I think I have that same email because we do have like a way to check that as well. According to this, but again, it's on June 29, 2026, back on 4:54 p.m., saying that they are pleased to inform that the permit application has been accepted and routed for review. So it means that it's still in the process. That's based on the current note we have here.
I have an email from Alexa Rangel, and she told me that it was the application that I submitted. You guys don't use it on the new portal, so she told me that's what I had to do, reapply and have the electronic notary. And I also
Have you done that?
uploaded the fence addendum.
So you've done that?
I've done that. That was
Okay.
on, yes.
All right,
And
well,
it was approved. I'm just unable to go into the portal for some reason.
Okay, well, Mr. Garcia read the notes to me. So you obviously were here you've been here a few times already. You are in the process of getting your permits and all that. So for today, regarding this case, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit more time, but after this time, it's not going to be the same anymore. There's going to be daily fines going back as of probably March. So I would advise you to whatever needs to be done, complete it. Stay in communication with Mr. Garcia, who's your assigned code enforcer, and then the city as well, okay?
It's taken a little bit longer because of financial issues. I had to get a new survey, the application, so I've spent at least almost
Right.
$600.
Right, I understand. But, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2501121. I'm going to go ahead and give you an additional 30 days. That will bring you to August 2nd, 2026, and an $80 administration fee, since you have everything already in the process. You've started.
Okay, so the August 2nd deadline is to have what completed?
Everything.
Because I know inspections have to be, I don't know how long that takes with the city.
Well,
is that something?
That's why you stay in communication with him and the
Okay.
city as well. You know, you have to be on top of them. But if now, I mean, we're going back as of March. All of this stuff has been happening for a while. So I'm giving you an additional extension.
Okay.
And that should be enough time, because it's not just recent. I mean, it's months and months.
Correct.
Okay? So that's it. That's it for today.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am? Excuse me, ma'am?
Next case, item 26, under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CE 25050181, CBD 2 Properties, Inc.
Good afternoon.
This is an affidavit of noncompliance. The case was heard on August 7th, 2025, and we're given until October 7th, 2025 to comply. For Code Section 6-36, non-permitted work for the hurricane shutters. Affidavit of noncompliance was sent certified in regular mail on May 3rd, 2026. Property was also posted with an affidavit of noncompliance on May 4th, 2026. Special Master, please accept the photo submitted as evidence.
Yes, approved.
Special Master, they do have a permit on file, 25080434 for the hurricane shutters. It's just been in an applied status as of August 13, 2025. He has a power of attorney, and he's going to provide a testimony on behalf of the owner.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just state your name and then the address of the property.
Sure. My name is Jane Torres. The address of the property is 530 Southwest 3rd Terrace. So we, as the officer stated, we submitted plans for the permit. Ownership hired a contractor who we haven't been able to contact. So we are taking action over that. We are doing a complaint against him. We just need a little bit more time. I don't know if we could get 60, 90 days for compliance. We are looking for a new contractor. We already interview too. So right now it's just matter of getting retained and try to close this as soon as possible.
Sure, thank you for your honesty. All right, so I'll go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250-50181. I'll go ahead and grant the 90 days. That will bring you to October 1st, 2026. Today would just be an $80 administration fee.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it.
Next case, item 10, under civil citations, Code Officer Buell, case number CC 2600156 TKT, Rosa Serna.
Citation was issued to Rosa Serna, property address 63 Northeast 10th Street, Apartment 1. Citation was issued on Tuesday, May 26, 2026, for code section 23.5-6I, in the same location as the others. I took the photographs on May 26, 2026. I came across this bulk trash pile with Ms. Serna's mail littered in the pile, and she was issued the citation for illegal dumping.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, please state your name and address.
My name is Rosa Serna.
What's the address?
Excuse me?
The address.
Oh, 63 Northeast, 10th Street, Homestead, Florida, 33030.
Okay, and do you have a testimony you want to share?
Yes, I know that it was issued for May 2029, right?
May 26.
May 26, oh, sorry. Actually, I was the manager there. And how can I say it? It's a lot of people, I was the manager there. And a lot of people dump stuff over there. I know I didn't dump in the place over there because I know that we have a dumpster. The problem there is I used to call the city because sometimes they don't pick up the garbage, let's say on a Monday when it's due, and I call them because the dumpster is for 12-unit apartment, and it gets so full to the top. And I don't know if somebody grabbed the stuff, I put it, but sometimes when the dumpster was full, what I do is I call the city when they don't pick up the garbage and put my bags on the side with everything I threw out. And I noticed that some people go there in the garbage and search for things like, let's say homeless people usually go there and look for items in the garbage. I don't know if they try to open my bags and just dump my stuff over there because I know I dump the garbage inside if it was kind of empty. But it usually get full to the top because it's a 12-unit apartment. And I don't know how it got there because I usually call the code enforcement when I see garbage there. I used to put them in my dumpster when it was kind of empty. I used to call code enforcement and the city of Homestead to pick up the garbage because it was kind of full. And sometimes they said there was a car parked there and they don't go pick it up because it was a car there and the dumpster got so full. Like I said, whenever it was full, I just tie my bags and put them on the side. Even if the people don't get out of the truck to pick it up, whenever they come pick it up, I used to dump it and put it on the dumpster. But I don't know, I was the manager, and I know it's not right to put the garbage there, so I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you there for your story. Okay, well, just like I told.
I've been living in that place since 1995, and I've been managing like maybe 25, 26 years.
Right.
So I know you're not supposed to put in every time I see like sometimes I found letters from Miami, all the way from Miami, and a lot of the stuff from Miami, and I called the code enforcement to check it.
Right. Okay, well, I know this has been an area, and I'm going to tell you the same like I've told everybody else. It still has your information, still has your trash, so you're responsible for it.
I know.
So, that's something that if you see it's full, like, you've said it's full, then, I would advise you to find another way to throw away your trash, handle your trash, because this is can't continue, and you will be coming here over and over, and then, you know, so.
It's my first time they call me for something like this because, like I
Right.
said, when I see it was all the way up and full, I tie my bags and put them on the side.
Right.
Even if they don't get out of the truck to pick it up, whenever they pick up the garbage, I used to put them on the
Right.
dumpster. I don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City v. Homestead for case number CC 2600156. Just like I've done for everyone, so your fine was $500. I'm going to bring it down to $375, but that's one time. So, you know, to avoid this, I would advise you to make sure that trash is taken care of the correct way, and if it's overfill, then you got to figure out another way, because this one-time reduction is only one time. Okay?
No, I know. Like I said,
All
I
right.
never put my garbage in that area because I know it's not supposed to be there.
All right.
Special Master, is there a admin
Yes,
fee?
an $80 administration fee. Okay, so $375 and then $80 administration fee. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next case, item 11, under civil citations, Code Officer Garcia, case number CC 2600157, TKT 1027 Property LLC.
Okay. Good afternoon. The citation was issued to 1027 Property LLC with a mailing address of PO Box 431093, Miami, Florida 33243. Citation was issued on May 27, 2026 via certified mail, and a copy of it was also posted on the property on May 28, 2026 for the violation of Chapter 23.5 of the City Code of Ordinance under Section 23.5-4, condition on inspection of containers, allowing a dumpster to overflow with waste. The location of the violation is 320 Southwest 11th Avenue under folio 10-7813-000-0139. I took the initial inspection photograph on May 27, 2026, and the follow-up photograph on June 2nd, 2026, and another follow-up photograph on June 10, 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what's observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Master, about this case, it is very important to say for the consideration that since the moment that the property received the citation, I didn't believe one of the representatives expressed some concerns about the case. However, be advised that since they issued the citation, the property changed from being a one container to a multiple individual dumpster. And based on that effort, I think that I haven't seen that issue reoccur again, and I have reason to believe it may not occur again in the future. So at least it is very commendable on the effort put on their part, and therefore it's for your recommendation in order for the citation.
Okay, thank you. All right, please state your full name and address.
Yes, Yvette Augusti. And this is for 1027 LLC. I am the property owner and the owner of the LLC for 320 Southwest 11th Avenue, Homestead, Florida 33030.
Thank you. And do you have a testimony you want to share?
I do. I actually have a presentation for you. May
Sure.
I give you this?
Mhm.
So we acquired the property on the 1st of April. I have the certified warranty deed. So there is a correction because the due process was not delivered correctly. But either way, we were on top of the dumpster. The waste department, which they can testify, I have communication with them. I went in person prior to Mr. Garcia's citation. And when we went, they said that it had been working for several months on changing and removing these dumpsters to individual containers per unit. So Officer Palmer, we spoke to him personally. We had somebody constantly picking up waste from the dumpster. And we said it is an issue that is impossible to sustain, but the waste department has been working on changing this. Then he said not to worry. We corrected it. every other day. Then Officer Garcia comes, and I am sorry, but there's not to date a certified anything going to the P.O. box. He may have sent it later, but there was no due process because our address wasn't even on there during this time. Our address did not show up on this property. So either way, we were on top of our property and we went to the waste department and they removed these containers. But I have to say, my partner and I have 50 years of combined real estate experience. And this municipality, with the exception of Officer Palmer, who actually does a thorough investigation before doing a citation or doing a violation, or in this case, citing us to go to court, he actually, because we even recently spoke to him again, does a little bit of investigation. I just don't know the rush to do these citations without investigating anything. So no department speaks to any other. You know, the waste department actually delivered the containers. I have an actual date where those containers weren't even within a week of Officer Garcia's quick to put this into the court system. And I think it's impossible for somebody who is on top of their properties to actually continue to improve them when all they do is deal with these violations that nobody's investigating. Nobody's talking to the waste department to see what they're doing. Nobody's talking to each other in their own department. And I could say the same for Officer Capelli, Valencia. I've spoken to numerous of them already. I mean, I can go through the citations, which I actually brought them up here because as a new owner to the city of Homestead, I couldn't even get a list of what was available. The two supervisors, which is Jose Perez and Morillo, they had to do a list for me. So I had not received not one of these things. We were already on top of it. And I find it shocking that a city would do all these things and not really make sure that they're even getting it delivered appropriately. Mahia Johnson, the previous owners, received several of them. So after speaking with Morillo, who actually did me the favor of putting a process of, it's called process something, that you get a list of anything that's open. He has been very helpful, and Officer Palmer. But everybody else, I'm going to give you an example that's on your list there for timelines so that you know. Officer Capelli was, I understand, doing her job, responding to complaints, and so is another.
Today we're hearing the case specifically that's before you, not
Okay.
other cases.
Go ahead. Anyway, I feel like this is something that should be dismissed, and my recommendation is that the department, because I'm putting a formal complaint, because I do feel like it's very difficult to maintain properties when the own departments are not speaking. But this was corrected right away, and I actually didn't request individual units trash. That Mr. Garcia said that we requested it. We did not request it. The city was already working on taking those dumpsters away because my partner did have to file a police report that same week. It was in the news. There was a shooting in the park across the street because we have a lot of bums there, which is who goes through this trash. But either way, that the waste department already had it done, and the next, 4 or 5 days from the date of this citation, they had individual containers for each unit.
If I may interject, as it relates to the due process, I just want to state and clarify for the record, per Florida Statute 162, due process is given when the property is both posted and sent via certified mail. Due process per Florida Statute 162 dictates that the city's effort to send via certified mail is one of two components for certified mail process, including the posting. So in this case, we have testimony from Officer Andres, who advised that he both sent it via certified mail and posted the property. Whether or not they received the certified mail, unfortunately, per Florida Statute 162 is not part of the requirement, as long as the city in good faith efforts did send it via certified mail. At this juncture, the violation in question isn't necessarily tied to the other speculations that are being brought up with the property owner. However, what we will bring up and mention is that at the time of the inspection, there was a violation, and therefore that is why the citation was issued. And at this juncture, the city is finalized with presenting their case. We're requesting an adjudication at this time.
Okay. Yeah, so you understand now the whole, what we're here for, you know, and I know that you've gotten the dumpsters, but actually it's been a benefit, because as the code
But
enforcement.
Mr. Garcia, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that picture is what Mr. Garcia saw, not the previous one, because we don't handle garbage that is collected by the city of Homestead, and that over the other picture that he inserted, because this is the picture, this is what he saw, the one that is up right now, not the previous one that he showed that it was overflowing, because that one we took care of right away with the city. That was
Scroll
not
up a little
there
bit more.
at the time of, because he's referring to at the
This
time of
is
the
a
citation.
certified picture that has a date and timestamp. Zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Which depicts that on May 27, 2026, at approximately 4:45 p.m., the dumpster was overflowing.
The previous picture that was posted there, what timestamp did it have?
The violation is for this picture. This picture depicts the violation in question, which shows the overflowing dumpster and litter.
I know we don't control the pickup though of trash. We picked up around it, but we don't have that. That's the city of Homestead. That's why we went to the waste department, and that's why they switched and removed dumpsters, and they said they would.
I understand. However, at the time of the violation, this was the active condition, and therefore that was why the citation was issued. As mentioned previously via email, and we were very adamant, the city of Homestead takes public safety very seriously, and litter, trash, and debris is a very serious nuisance to the city, causing more blight. So that is why the citation was issued.
Okay. Can you please show the stamp of the previous picture that you just showed? Because it's the picture that we have.
At this time, the city concludes their presentation and will allow for the magistrate.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this case. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600157. For that remaining $500 to continue to be paid, and an $80 administration fee as well. And remember, these citations, when they're given, you have 30 days to rectify them, in case that you didn't know. So when they're given to you, you have a full 30 days.
We rectified it. It's been.
But at the
there's no
time,
dumpsters.
but at the time of the citation, it was not.
No, he didn't give us any days. We've rectified it already before he even said anything. I have an email in your presentation that I gave you that he said it has been rectified. I mean, it's in his own words that it was rectified. We didn't leave it like that. They came to pick it up.
So
and
for
we've always picked
clarification,
up
this
what
is
was-
not a notice of violation, this is a citation.
Right.
So the citation carries a monetary fine even if compliance is met. What the 30 days is in reference to that the magistrate is bringing up is 30 days to submit your appeal and pay for the citation. If the citation is not paid or an appeal is not received within 30 days,
We
then it's
appealed
going
it.
to
That's why
be.
we're here.
So if an appeal or payment is not made within the 30 days, then the citation is brought up before the magistrate for default. In this case, since you appealed the citation, the only thing in question right now is whether or not the violation existed at the time of the citation.
But so he let us know.
Was the violation corrected?
Yes, it was corrected right away.
That is not being discredited. However, at the time of the citation, there
Which
was a
the
violation.
27th.
There was a violation, and therefore the citation was issued.
Right, but he didn't give, you say that he gives some time to correct it, right? That is in an email from him saying it has been corrected. So why am I getting the fine?
Because a citation was issued. Whether or not you corrected it, the monetary fine is attached to the action that already occurred. You can't take back that the litter and debris was in the city. You can't take back the overflowing dumpster. It already occurred. So it's treated as
a dumpster that shouldn't have been there to begin with, as per the waste
It's
department.
treated as an irreparable act in nature because of the continuing circumstances.
It's like a speeding ticket,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So the violation happened, you stopped, you spoke to the officer, it's corrected, but
But slowing down to speak with the officer doesn't take away the fact that you were going 80 miles an
Right,
hour. Yeah.
so, I'm just clarifying.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's it. The violation's still there. I already stated you still need to pay the $580 administration fee.
Now returning to the agenda order of the remaining cases. Next case, item number 2, under civil citations, Code Officer Johnson. Case number CC 2600116, TKT Allison G's.
Citation was issued to Allison Maria G's, property address P.O. Box 832001, Miami, Florida 33283. Citation was issued on April 15, 2026 for Code Section 29-12, Section H for tree abuse. Location of violation happened at 2046 Northeast 4th Court. I took photographs on April 9th, April 15th, and May 29th of 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. Have you spoken to this person, of the owner?
I did speak to the owner when I posted the property. I asked the owner if they, cut the tree and everything, and they did admit that they did cut the tree. I explained the process and everything. She did state that she was going to come to the hearing, and
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600116, TKT. Did not show up. Fine is $1,000 with an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 3, under civil citations, Code Officer Garcia, case number CC 2600134, TKT Michael James Murray, REV.
Special Master, this is a civil citation. This is under Garcia with the City Homestead Code Compliance. The citation was issued to Michael Rosell, which was the violator, and a copy of the citation plus the actual summons to appear was issued to Michael James Murray, a Michael James Murray REV Trust, via certified mail to the address located at 7724 Southwest 175th Terrace in Palmetto Bay, Florida, 33157, and posted on at 905 Northeast 5th Avenue, Homestead, Florida, 33030, back on April 25 of 2026 for the violation of Chapter 23.5 of the City Code of Ordinance under Section 23.5-68, improper garbage disposal, commonly known as illegal dumping. The location of the violation is the swell abutting the address of 904 Northwest 5th Avenue, so technically in front of the property. The initial inspection photographs were taken on April 25, 2026, and the follow-up reinspection that was taken on April 29, and a subsequent reinspection per solid waste was made on April 30, 2026. Per my knowledge, the waste was removed by the city. Please accept the photo submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Master, the defendant was supposed to be here. Actually, this case was supposed to be heard last month. He requested to be changed to this day due to some availability issues, so I'm kind of surprised he's not here today.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600134, TKT, fine to be $1,000 with an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 5, under civil citations, Code Officer Simmons, case number CC 2600145, TKT Reyno Castellon.
Citation was issued to Raynel Castellon at property address 840 Independence Drive, Unit 840A. Citation was issued on May 7, 2026 for Code Section 19-114D, abandoned property fee. This was in reference to the citation is in reference to non-compliance of giving payment of the annual registration fee. The location of the violation was 840 Independence Drive, Unit 840A. I took the photographs of the NOV posting on April 15, 2026. The photos accurately and represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
I spoke with the owner of the property when the initial notice of violation was posted. The owner stated that the property is not abandoned and that he currently resides there. He said that he would get in contact with the bank, and I haven't heard or spoken to him again. So he's currently in violation. He didn't pay the fee.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600145, TKT, to have a $1,000 violation and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, under civil citation, item number 9, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2600154, TKT FKH SFR Propco B HLD LP CO First Key Homes LLC.
A citation was issued to FKH SFR Propco BHLD LP CO First Key Homes LLC. Mailing address of 1850 Parkway Place, 900 Marietta, Georgia 30067, located at 213 Southwest 15th Place, Homestead, Florida. The citation was issued on May 21st, 2026, and was mailed and posted along with summons to appear and a copy of the citation. A reinspection was scheduled and conducted on May 24th, 2026. The citation was issued for a violation of the City Code Section 23.56B, excessive bulk trash on property. The violation was corrected by solid waste on May 26, 2026. The citation also remains unpaid. Photographs documenting the condition were taken and submitted as evidence.
Approved. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this case. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600154 TKT. A $1,000 fine and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item 13, under civil citations, Code Officer Buell, case number CC 2600159, TKT Milson Hernandez.
The citation was issued to Mr. Milson Hernandez at the property address of 63 Northeast, his property address is 63 Northeast 10th Street, Apartment 9. The citation was issued on Tuesday, May 26, 2026, for Code Sections 23.5-6I. Location of the violation was 63 Northeast 10th Street in the center median. I took the photographs on May 26, 2026. The citation was issued, posted on property, and sent via certified mail. I've had no contact with this person.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600159 TKT $1,000 fine and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 1 under previously heard. Item number 1, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2500176, NOB, Ulises Salgado, Navy Rodriguez, Ulises Salgado, Navy Rodriguez.
This is an affidavit of noncompliance. The case was heard on February 19, 2026, and were given until March 22nd, 2026 to comply for Code Section 6-36, non-permitted work for the side doors and the door fence with no permits. Affidavit of noncompliance was sent certified in regular mail on April 29, 2026. Property was also posted with an affidavit of noncompliance on April 29, 2026. Special Master, please accept the photo submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Masters, as of today, there's no permits on file.
When did you tell me that they had to come back, or they had time?
They were heard on February 19, 2026, and were given until March 22nd, 2026.
March 27th?
22nd.
Oh, 22nd. 26. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead, case number CC 2500176 NOV. This is going to have a fine of $250 daily going back as of March 27, 26, and an $80 administration fee.
Special Master, March 22nd, 2-2.
Okay, sorry about, did I say 27? Sorry, let me make that correction. Case number CC 2500176 NOV will have a daily fine of $250 going back as of March 22nd, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 3, under previously heard. Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2500755, NOB, Bruce Ramirez.
This is an affidavit of noncompliance. The case was heard on January 29th, 2026, and were given until March 1st, 2026 to comply for Code Section 19-71, multiple abandoned vehicles on property. Affidavit of noncompliance was sent certified in regular mail on April 29th, 2026. Property was also posted with an affidavit of noncompliance on April 29th, 2026. Special Master, please accept the photo submitted as evidence.
Approved. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2500755 NOV. Will have a daily fine of $250 going back as of March 1st, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 5, under previously heard. Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2600385, NOB, 250 Northwest 9th Terrace, LLC.
This is an affidavit of noncompliance. The case was heard on May 21st, 2026, and were given until May 26, 2026 to comply for Code Section 6-36, non-permitted work for the change link fence and partial removal of wall structure with no permits. Affidavit of noncompliance was sent certified and regular mail on May 27, 2026. Property was also posted with an affidavit of noncompliance on May 27, 2026. Special Master, please accept the photo submitted as evidence.
Approved.
Special Master, they do have a permit on file 26030131 for the change link fence. It's still in an applied status as of March 7, 2026, and they're missing the permit for the partial removal of the wall structure.
Okay, but they have gone ahead and the original violation was for not having a permit to do the chain link, or what?
For the change link fence and the partial removal of the wall structure, but for the change link fence, those permits have been denied.
Okay, so what's the permit for now?
It's still just in an applied status just for the change link fence,
Okay, then they're still missing the other ones.
the removal of the wall structure.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600385. I'm going to go back as of May 26, a daily fine of $185 and an $80 administration fee.
Special Master, can you repeat the fine? I'm sorry.
The fine is a daily fine of $185, going back as of May 26, and an $80 administration fee.
Thank you.
Next case, item number 2, under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2501334, NOB, Julio C. de Armas y Amirka Guerrero.
The property was cited on December 30th, 2025 for the following code violations: 6-36 non-permitted work for the windows, front door, and the side door. Compliance was not met. Summons to appear was mailed on April 26, 2026, and posted on April 27, 2026. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence.
All right. I'll go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2501334, NOV, giving them 5 days to come into compliance, which would bring it to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 4, under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2600726, NOB, Yoniel Torres.
The property was cited on March 9th, 2026 for the following code violation: 6-36 non-permitted work for the Duro fence and structure on rear with no permits. Compliance was not met. Summons to appear was mailed on May 12th, 2026, and posted. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence. Special Master, they do have a permit number BD-26-00633-BL-R for the Duro fence. It's in an applied status as of May 11th, 2026. Permit number BD-26-00874-BL-R for the structure on the rear. It's in an applied status as of 7/2/2026, and they have it as a demo permit.
Okay, so they got everything in the permit status?
Yes.
All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600726, NOV. I'll go ahead and give them 30 days. That will bring it to August 2nd, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 6, under new business, Code Officer Morataya, case number CC 2600875, NOB, B&B Invest.
This property was cited March 19, 2026 for code section violation 6-197, fence in need of repair. A notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and posted March 19, 2026. Someone to appear was mailed via certified mail and posted May 13, 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. Compliance has not been met. Photographs were taken March 19th and May 13, 2026. As of today, no effort has been made to fix the fence. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept these photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600875 NOV. They have 5 days to come into compliance, and that would bring to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item number 8 under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2600924, NOB Senec LLC.
Special Master, this case is complied.
Next case, item number 10 under new business, Code Officer Simmons, case number CC 2600946, NOB Orislandi Diaz Marrero Jimenez.
The property was cited on March 24, 2026 for code section violation 6-206, fence built without a permit. A notice of violation was mailed certified and posted on March 25, 2026. A summons to appear was mailed certified and posted on May 27, 2026. Compliance was not met, therefore, the property is set for tonight's hearing on July 2nd, 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. I took the photographs on March 25th, 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
As of today, I have not spoken with the owner of the property, and no one has contacted me regarding this matter. There is no permit on file for this property, and they are in violation.
All right. I'll go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2600946 NOV. They have 5 days to come into compliance and an $80 administration fee.
Special Master, what would the 5 days be?
5 days will bring it to July 8th, 2026.
Next case, item number 12, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2601175, NOB Assad Shehadeh.
The property was cited on April 10th, 2026 for the following code violations: 19-4, tree limbs too low over sidewalk, compliance was not met, summons to appear was mailed on April 27, 2026 and posted on April 28, 2026. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence.
All right. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2601175 NOV. Have 5 days to come into compliance, which would bring it to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item 13, under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2601237, NOB Tomika Carr.
Special Master, can I read both cases together? She has 2 cases.
Yes.
Okay. The property was cited on April 14, 2026 for the following code violations: 30-443 for the commercial vehicle on the property. Compliance was not met. Summons to appear was mailed on April 27, 2026 and posted. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence. And the other case is CC 2601238. The property was cited on April 14, 2026 for the following code violations: 19-95, grass overgrown on the property. Compliance was not met. Summons to appear was mailed on April 27, 2026 and posted as well. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence.
All right, I'll go ahead and rule on this. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2601-237 NOV and CC 2601-238 NOV. Both violations have 5 days to come into compliance. That will bring it to July 8th, 2026, and both violations have an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item 15, under new business, Code Officer Mentor, case number CC 2601248 NOB, Iris D. Cobble. Next case, item 16, under new business, Code Officer Chapelli, case number CC 2601681 NOB, Yolanda Zamoyski.
The property was cited on May 20th, 2026 for the following code violations: 19-95, an overgrown alleyway. Compliance was not met. Summons to appear was mailed on June 3rd, 2026 and posted on June 4th, 2026. As of today, the property remains in violation. Photographs were taken and submitted as evidence.
Okay. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CC 2601-1681 NOV. 5 days to come into compliance, which would bring to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item 18, under new business, Code Officer Morataya, case number CE 25070150, Giovanni Melidoni, Carol Melidoni.
Property was cited July 10th, 2025 for code section violation 6-36, failing to obtain a permit for the extended driveway. A notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and posted July 11th, 2025. Summon to appear was mailed via certified mail on May 14th and posted May 17th, 2026. Compliance has not been met, therefore the property is set for today's hearing. Currently, the property is in violation. Photographs were taken July 10th, 11, 2025, and May 17, 2026. No permit are on file as of today. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept these photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. All right, I'm going to go ahead and rule on this. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250-70150. Have 5 days to come into compliance, which would bring to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Next case, item 21, under new business, Code Officer Valencia, case number CE 25080495, Andrea and Gabriel Enriquez.
The property was cited on August 28th of 2025 for code section 6-36, failing to obtaining a permit required by code for work done on the premises. And what they did, they installed an awning and several mini splits without a permit. A notice of violation was mailed regular and certified on 8/29 of 2025. The property was posted with the summons to appear on 6/01 of 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. As of today, I have not seen any permit for the mini split and also for the awning. I took the photographs on 8/28 of 2025 and on 6/1 of 2026. The photos fairly and accurately represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved. Okay. I do find a violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250-80495. 5 days to come into compliance. That would bring to July 8th, 2026, and an $8 administration fee.
Next case, item 25, under new business, Code Officer Valencia, case number CE 25090402 Hugo and Alejandra Lazovolsky LLC.
The property was cited on 9/24 of 2025 for code section 6-36, failing to obtain the permit required by code for work done on the premises, and what they did, they installed 2 windows on unit 1111. A notice of violation was mailed regular and certified on 9/25 of 2025, with the posting date for summons to appear on 6/01 of 2026. Currently, the property is in violation. I took the photographs on 9/25 of 2025, 9/24 of 2025, and also on 6/1 of 2026. The photos fairly represent what was observed. Special Master, please accept the photos submitted as evidence.
Approved.
As of today, I have not seen any permit for the windows.
Okay. I do find violation of City of Homestead for case number CE 250900402. They have 5 days to come into compliance, which will bring it to July 8th, 2026, and an $80 administration fee.
Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned at 4:39 p.m. Happy 4th of July, everyone.